We've been going cautiously, getting used to the car. It's taking more time than we expected to settle in. The whole handling is different, the whole gearing is different, braking is different. So there's definitely many changes we're going to do after Safari, now that we're running with the car.
The only Toyota in the event was a Group N Celica GT4 driven by Jaswinder and Ravi Chana, who were down in 16th. Leading the Tanzanian attack were Isa Mohammed and Awad Bafad, who appeared to be going extremely quick as they passed our cameras, but their times only placed them in 21st. The route was littered with narrow gates separating the fields on the farmland, and it was surprising that Giancarlo Davite and Sylvia Windvogel were the only car to hit one, with the evidence plain to see.
The first 5-6 gates went well. The 6th one we took it on the left side. We were fortunate the gate was old, so the gate moved and we were quite okay.
At the halfway point of leg 1, it was Conrad Rautenbach in the lead, with Carl Tundo snapping at his heels. Just under 4 minutes separated the top 6. The service park at Elementaita was superbly located, overlooking the lake in one direction, and in the distance to the left was the rally route with the dust of competing cars rising over the landscape. In the service park itself, there was a sense of urgency as each car was serviced, repaired and fettled ready for the afternoon stages. In the service park, we found Riaz Kurji, who was notably absent from the leaderboard results. Out on the stages, he had been posting times well inside the top 4, but had disappeared off the leaderboard after stage 4.
Our strategy was for the first 5 stages, we go flat out and come back and check, and then see how to strategize for the next 5. But it didn't work out. We were just too fast. We bent the arms, and the tires were just touching the body. And we were getting punctures, so there was no point carrying on.
Also out was Ahmed Hewell, who had also been posting times that would reflect a top 10 placing. They completed the first group of 5 stages, but it had been with a stiff gearbox, which would turn out to be terminal.
My gearbox was giving me a problem. The 3rd gear was coming out, jumping. The last stage, when I got here, the gearbox couldn't go anymore. So I'm out.
Adjacent to the service park was the last kilometer of stage 6, which was designed for spectators to see the cars in action as they negotiated a series of fast and tight bends just before the flying finish. Amidst all the action, the sponsors took advantage to display their products. For the enthusiasts, the venue could not have been more perfect. Good food mixed with a splattering of dust. Lots of action, and all situated in one of the most scenic locations in the country. Not to mention temperatures bordering on the unbearable. Following a brief halt in Park Fermé, giving the organizers time to clear the sections of stragglers, the rally resumed for a second run over the stages. Parts of the first stage in the foothills ran parallel to a later stage, and through a navigational error, Steve Gasheru and Dennis Kinotti, who had been running at the back of the field, ended up on the wrong stage, slipping through the organizers' clearing mechanism. The crew had been experiencing fuel pump and brake failure and had spent much of their time out on the route making repairs, and it was these problems that would lead to a dramatic end to their rally when the car caught fire. Being on the wrong stage, the car was now blocking the route, with many crews stopping to assist or donate fire extinguishers. But the blaze was too strong, and the car was totally destroyed.
I lost brakes. I think something started from the back. And the next thing I knew, there was fire on the back. Hit fire extinguishers. So it just...
The stage was cancelled and the rally resumed on stage 8. Andrea Navarra and Guido D'Amore in the Fiat Abarth had upped their pace and were quickest over 3 of the next 4 stages. And it was enough to take over the lead of the rally, ending the loop 9 seconds out in front. Konrad Rautenbach and Peter Marsh continued their attack. They were running third on the road, which gave them the motivation to catch the dust of the Fiats ahead. A problem on stage 9 lost them a minute, and they ended leg 1 of the safari in 2nd place.
So I like these stages, they really suit me, so our plan was to give it a bit of a go in the morning and see what happens, but we still, you know, we had our problems, so it hasn't been handling that great. I think we've still quite a lot left, but yeah, I like the stages, so we're going for it.
The other Fiat of Umberto Scandola and Luigi Pirolo was also making up time, going quicker over the stages than they had in the morning. But it all came to nothing when the engine overheated and lost power, forcing them out of the rally. Carl Tundo and Tim Jessup were also right up there with the front runners. Despite driving quicker and shaving even more time on each stage, the pace at the front was so fast that they slipped a place to 3rd.
Are you trying maybe that bit harder because we've got such good competition this time?
Definitely. I'm going flat out.
Lee Rose and Piers Bacon's hopes of closing in on the leaders ended on the side of the road when the engine overheated and they were out. With Scandola and Rose out, the following cars on the leaderboard all moved up 2 places, and Emmanuel Kato with Moses Matovu found themselves in 4th place at the halfway stage of the rally. Muna Singh and David Sihoka were in 5th, ending the 2nd loop of the stages only 11 seconds behind Kato. It would be interesting to watch this pair on leg 2, as they were matching stage times, and it would undoubtedly become a race. Following their earlier puncture, Hideyuki Miyoshi and Hikaru Ichino were putting in a superb performance to recover the time lost. They were always amongst the top 3 and over the 4 stages gained another 4 places to end the day in 6th.
And we had 2 puncture again, but we are quite lucky. You know, stage is only 1 kilometer. We can drive through the finish, and we changed 2 tire front 2 tire.
Sami Aslam and Abdul Sidi were in 7th, having not put a wheel out of place. They were 3rd behind Navarra and Miyoshi in the IRC challenge, but being 8 minutes behind the leaders, their biggest threat was now coming from behind.
So I've just got a steady pace. I mean, it would be foolish for me to go faster than that, because as you know, the car is still new. I mean, for myself, it's still a test program. But it's not even that slow. We're enjoying ourselves, having fun.
With 172 competitive kilometers behind them and 11 out of the 19 stages of the rally complete, Andrea Navarra held the lead, but positions amongst the top 3 were far from decided. The cars had returned to Nairobi for the overnight halt and were held in Park Fome at the KICC. Only 5 cars had retired on leg 1, leaving 28 to battle for positions on leg 2. With the cars having been reseeded, first off the ramp were Andrea Navarra and Luigi Pirolo in the Fiat Abarth S2000 Punto. They were leading the rally by 9 seconds.